everyone, I'm here to do my yearly curriculum video. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this to see what we're doing this year. I just want to stress something before we start. The books and things like that that you're about to see are all what I call the bones of what we're going to be doing. So it's just a base. One of the points of home ed for us is being able to follow a child's interests. So although we have all this in place, there's some things that may not work, some things that Stan and Ronnie might not be interested in, and we'll just move on quicker. Also, the library is a massive part of our home ed. We go to the library and get a big stack of like 40 books, which is actually propping up my camera at the moment. You know, we will read lots as well. So all of those books, like we got a book on bridges the other day from the library, and that went on to us building lots of bridges out of Lego and researching different types of bridges and looking at YouTube videos, and it went on like that. So although these are the basis of what we're doing and the basis of our sit down work, there is a lot more to it. Every day brings an opportunity to learn different things, and we're certainly not going to be sat at a table for hours and hours just doing this and that's it, and if we're not interested we're still going to do it anyway. Like I say, the point of what we do, for me anyway, is to give us that freedom and to follow interests. I do, however, like to have a base. For me, I need to plan, I need to have some sort of base to get started, and give me some inspiration basically. So I'm going to start with my yearly planner that I make every year. I'll link down last year's one down below. You can go on the website and actually print it off as a PDF if you want to. I'm not going to make a separate video for it this year because it's basically the same as last year's. I've kept it pretty simple. I have my cover here, which just is literally our home ed planner and the year, so 2018-2019. Inside I have, I'm not going to go into too much detail because this is personal to us, but this is this year's overall home ed plan for us all, and that's just basically kind of how I go about things, what my main aim is. And then I go more into detail about what I would like to achieve in each subject. By all means, you don't have to do this. For me, I like to have things down. I like to kind of, you know, have an aim down. Some of these are taken from the national curriculum, some of them are just things that I've added. But the basic planner is just like this. We have this week's plan, and we have subjects listed. Again, it's very loose. I try and do it on a Friday when I'm at my mum and dad's so that I can actually kind of sit down while the children are playing and amused. The other side of the page is, as the week goes on, I add all of the other things we've done that week. So if we've read a book, like I said, about bridges, and then that's led to another activity, I write that down. So it's kind of a bit like an unschooling diary, really, because I find that those things are really important. And also for me, writing it all down makes me actually think about the amount of stuff we do that isn't planned. So that's basically, yeah, my weekly planner. Now again, if there's a couple of weeks that we're poorly, or there's a couple of weeks we're on holiday, I don't plan. This is by no means something I have to do every week. It's something for me. I like to do it. I write down our activities that week, so like swimming, things like that. So I've just got a weekly plan, anything else that's coming up, so that I know when we can kind of fit in project work and things like that. So just moving on to a little folder that I've made for Stan. It's just literally a ring binder. I wanted to do something a bit extra and have a little resource folder this year for him. Things that he can look at, some kind of like memory facts and things like that. And there's a few other bits in here, so I'll show you what's in here. I printed off, this is from Twinkle. It's just his own calendar. I thought he's taken quite an interest in like when people's birthdays are and things like that. So I thought actually what I could do is give him his own calendar, and he can use that how he wants to. And then there's just a little bit of memory work for English, and just some sort of inspirational quotes and stuff. The more that you read, the more things you'll know, the more things that you learn, the more places you'll go, Dr. Zeus. And he's got his reading logs in here, so that he can actually just write what he, you know, the chapter books that he reads, just so it's just kind of a record, and when he gets to 10 books he'll get a prize. Also in here I've got little things like this poster, remembering vows, and it's the angry elephant in orange underpants. Like this one, there are 365 days in a year, time facts and things like that, but it just goes on. It's just very basic. thing for fractions. Hopefully you can see this so it's not too shiny. So a little reminder about fractions. So it's really, if we get stuck with anything, we can go back and kind of have a look. And we've got the continents and oceans there. Another thing I like is this that I printed, and it's a few pages long, and it's just British history basically. And yeah, up to modern Britain, so it's something we can look through together and expand on. And in the back here I've just got some colouring sheets, like the mindful colouring sheets, so that if we have quiet time we can just pick some of those out and colour them. Also, just another thing to say is that Ronnie would actually be starting school this year in September, which is really incomprehensible to me, and Stanley would be in the equivalent of year 3, but again we're flexible on that. And Ronnie, there's no way that I'm starting any type of formal reading, writing until he's completely ready. Stan was ready to read at 4, he asked to read, he wanted to read. Ronnie, he loves his books, but he doesn't want to do anything formal, and there is absolutely no rush for that. Ronnie has a slight speech delay, or what they call a speech delay. He's going to be having some speech therapy this month. So we're going to be working on the normal things with him, the play, the tough tray. I set up lots of tough trays, as you've seen probably before if you've been following us for a while. So it's all going to be done through play. Ronnie will always be invited to join in when we do projects and displays. He's always free to join us at the table. He's always included. If I print out a sheet for Stan, I'll print it out for Ronnie, even if he just colours on it and does whatever he wants. It's important that he feels included as well. So if I go on to now the main subjects and what we're going to be using for this year. So English, I'm literally going to be using the 100 curriculum English lessons. I love these books. They were really, really expensive when they first came out, but now if you're lucky you can find them on eBay for not too much money. So you have a disc in here that you can use for the computer, and there's some print-offs. And so like this one is Meet Roald Dahl, and there's lots of activities that go together with that. So for example, one of the things that we're going to learn about is the Roald Dahl bibliography and how that works. So if we're doing that, for instance, with the Roald Dahl, we'll also add our own things. I'll use Twinkle to actually plan for that week, and, you know, print out extra things. We may not do all of the things in here by any means. And also this goes sort of week 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, obviously if it's being used in a school, it's going to take a lot longer with more children. So it may only take us like 2 weeks. It may only be a week's project that we do it. And then we can move on to something different. So we don't necessarily follow the actual pattern in here, which is like autumn, you know, and the terms and everything like you would in school. So for maths, we are going for Maths No Problem again with Stan. We really, really like these. We've got the textbook. No, sorry. We've got the textbook and the workbook. Now, I have talked before about not having the textbook, because I didn't find that it gives you that much information more than the workbook. But as things go on, I thought I'd give it another try because I found one really cheap on eBay, so I thought it's worth getting and seeing how we get on with that again. But yeah, we love Maths No Problem. We just work through it at our own pace. So you've got like here the hundreds, tens and ones. You can work through it at your own pace. There's actually 2 books in a year, so this is 3A, and there's also a 3B as well to get through if you can get through it in the year. And the other thing that I supplement maths with is, as you know, we've just started the teaching textbooks, which we really like. So that's another supplement for maths. And also EdPlace is another one that we use on the computer, and we've just been working through that, and it just kind of reinforces the skills and things like that, as well as of course the everyday things that are important, like cooking. Like yesterday we were doubling a recipe and stuff like that. So it's the everyday ideas, the using money in shops. There's a lot more maths that goes on than just in this textbook. So science this year, again, I'm trying to keep this simple, especially with a new baby coming in December. These are the 100 science lessons. Again, I really, really like these. One of the big ones in here this year that I'm really looking forward to is rocks. And different kind of rocks and where they come from and where you can find them. I want to try and do a field trip of some sort when we do that, but I'm really excited about doing that one. Also, For science, as you know, we did the Exploring Nature with Children curriculum last year, which we absolutely loved, but there was a few weeks that we left out because of various things, so I would like to go back and pick up a couple of those this year, and kind of, we won't be following the whole thing this year because I felt that it took up literally the whole of the time, which was great, we loved it. But I think we'll probably do that in a year or two's time all over again. This is well worth looking into. I'll link the video below as well. But this is by far my favourite thing that we've done so far. We really love this and we definitely will be using it again. History, again, I'm going for the 100 history lessons, which we'll work through. A big one for this year is going to be Rome and its empire, which I'm really looking forward to. So again, we'll pull together lots of knowledge from different places. I've also picked up from eBay Romans in Britain. These are the CGP books, which I like. That's the study book. I'll just open it up at any page. And that will definitely be a good reinforcer for this topic, and I'm sure we'll do a display. And there's the activity book that goes with it, which is just kind of answering questions and kind of learning together and making kind of a diary about what we're learning. Geography, this is actually for year 3 and 4, so this will probably last us the 2 years. I haven't actually had any type of geography curriculum so far because we've just been going through the basics and local geography and kind of like maps of Britain, and we've got this big puzzle that we do, and just kind of learning the capital cities and things like that, and just basic geography. But I thought this would be really good to have this year and kind of to expand on it. The other thing I haven't got here is the computing lessons book, which I'm trying to find on eBay at the moment. And one of our friends who has an older boy is actually going to come and help Stan do some coding and things like that because he really enjoys that. The other thing that we use is a field trip journal. I haven't got it down here, but it's just basically a notebook, and if we go anywhere interesting or on holiday or anything, we usually sort of bring back some leaflets, stick them in, and Stan will write a little bit about his favourite day there or what we did, what we learned, and that works really well. And also we each have a nature journal. We didn't actually use this last year. We decorated them, but we didn't actually use them for our Exploring Nature curriculum because we just did things on bits of paper and stuff like that. But I'd really like to get into using these this year, so that if we find anything we can stick bits in and kind of make it like a scrapbook as well. So really that's kind of it for the bones of our curriculum. We do lots of read alouds, that's another thing. So Steve will have a book on the go in the evening with the boys. At the moment it's kind of a David Walliams book. And they've been going through all of those, so Steve will read a good sort of 2-3 chapters a night, if not more, if they're really into it, and that's kind of their little evening time. And then I'll have another book on the go. I haven't got any read alouds planned this year because I decided that we would just go to the library and just choose them as we go. Stan's reading the 51 story Treehouse books, and again he'll just pick books from the library to read. I don't sit and listen to him read. Unless it's a short story now, he'll actually read on his own, and he's very good at asking if he doesn't know what a word means or using his dictionary. That's another huge part. Having a dictionary really helps us out because it's kind of, he learns a bit of independence with how to find out something. If I'm doing something else, he can actually find out for himself what a word means. So we'll probably be starting our formal activities possibly slightly early, just before September. As you know, we have our baby due in December, the beginning of December, so we're going to take a good long few weeks off just to enjoy her, and obviously Christmas will be around that time as well, so we're just going to see how that plays out. I have no idea how things are going to go. You know, it's one of those things when you have a new baby. I wasn't home edding when I had my other two, obviously, so I don't know how that's going to fit in, but the main thing is going to be to enjoy her and just enjoy, you know, being a family. Oh, the other thing I wanted to speak to you about was, obviously alongside our other activities, there's also a lady that runs on a Wednesday a home ed group, which is basically, she's an ex-teacher, she's a home ed mum, another home ed mum, and she opens her house up along with her mum who helps her, and they have about 8 children at a time, and they do sessions of, you know, science experiments and play-based things. Children are invited to sort of join in with all the different activities. They sometimes have people coming around like professionals, like they had like a first aid type thing one week. So I'd like to send Stan there. He'd really like to do it. It's from like 10 till 1:30. He seems excited about it. We'll try it out. Ronnie could go as well, but I'm not sure that Ronnie would just yet. Possibly he may try it one day. So I think it'd be really nice to have a busy day for Stan in the middle of the week where he has those activities. He also has Woodcraft Folk one evening. As I say, we have swimming Wednesday afternoon as well. And we always see friends and everything as well. I don't like to have our schedule too packed out, because I think another point of home ed for us is to lead a bit more of a relaxed lifestyle without the rushing about and kind of the stress. I hope that I've remembered everything. Every time I edit one of these videos, I think I should have said this or I should have added that. But I think I've pretty much gone over it. As I say, we keep it simple, we play it by ear. There's no, you know, this needs to be done this day, this needs to be done this day. Normally my weekly plan, although I'll write something on a Monday and a Tuesday, sometimes they get shuffled round. If we get offered to go out with friends, we'll do that. That's fine. That's the point of what we do. It's that bit of flexibility. So if you've got any questions, please pop them below. I'll try and link everything we use below, including all the online activities we do and teaching textbooks and things like that. If you have any more suggestions of things that you use, things that you like, things that you don't like, please pop them below, because I always love reading what different families use. And I hope this video has helped you in some way, and we will see you soon. Bye.